Welcome back, everyone. Zamfara State Governor Dr. Dauda Lawal has expressed his administration's commitment to environmental sustainability and policies encouraging green practices in Zamfara State. He spoke on Tuesday while launching the distribution of vehicles and various other tools for the Zamfara Youth Sanitation Program at the Government House in Guzo. Tonight, we focus on Zamfara State as the administration of Governor Dauda Lawal counts down to year 2. In the face of insecurity, how is he navigating through it all, delivering the dividends of democracy to his people? He joins me virtually from Zamfara State. Your Excellency, good evening to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us on Politics Tonight.
Good evening, Jumoke. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. Expectedly, we should start this conversation by taking a look at the security situation in Zamfara State. And evidently, we can't talk about Zamfara State without talking about the level of progress made by the state government and indeed the federal government in securing the people of the state. But first, let me condole with you over the recent accidental civilian casualties during an airstrike in the Zomi local government area of the state. Please accept my condolences. Now, let's stay on that for the next few minutes. You said Zamfara airstrike was not intentional, and I hope I quoted you correctly. But you would agree with me, Your Excellency, that this time it's no longer about whether or not this was intentional, but the number of times we recorded accidental airstrikes, miscalculated airstrikes in the last 5 years, and ultimately the number of lives we lose each time this happens. What kind of conversation are you having or have you had with the families of those who lost their lives?
Well, Jamaica, let me start by thanking you for this opportunity to be in this program tonight. Like you rightly mentioned, security has always been the major concern of my administration because it was on that pillar we came on board. And we've taken this very, very serious. And I will categorically say that we are making significant progress in the area of fighting insecurity in Zamfara State. It has come down drastically. And this is because we made conscious effort to make sure we put all the necessary measures in place in terms of fighting banditry. Yes, an incident happened last week where innocent civilians were killed as a result of the Air Force strike. But like I said, in this kind of engagement, collateral damage is always there and will always be there. It's inevitable. And it wasn't intentional. And let me also say this. We are the people that called the Air Force to inform them about the bandit movement. And they came right on time. And something along the line happened. So it wasn't an intentional thing. And I fully sympathize with the families that lost their lives. I've sent a very powerful delegation to go to Zurmi and part of Maradin to commiserate with the family. And they quite understood that. Apart from that, the Air Force also made conscious effort by sending a top military officer, Air Force officer, to commiserate with the government as well as the family. And 2 days ago, they were also there to see and do an in-depth analysis of what happened so as to prevent future occurrence of such events. Right. So it was not intentional. And I still say that the Air Force are doing very well in terms of combating this criminality in Zamfara State. And credit must be given to them and the other armed forces in Zamfara State. All
right, Your Excellency. So if Zumi local government or the surrounding communities are hibernating spots for bandits, according to reports, what are you doing to protect your people who live in that local government and its environs? Do you have community protection guards in these communities, and how well equipped are they in consideration of the sophisticated weapons in the hands of these terrorists?
We have community protection guards in all the 14 local governments in Zamfara State. And like I said during the formation, these people were carefully selected in their localities. So yes, they're all over in all the 14 local governments, including Zurmi and Maradin. And these guys are always the first line of defense, and they're doing incredibly well in terms of fighting banditry. And they are also working in collaboration with the conventional security. So it makes things easier. They navigate very well because they understand the trend more than the conventional security forces. So they're doing very well.
And how equipped are they when you consider the kind of weapons these terrorists go about with?
We are fully prepared in terms of the kind of weapons we give them to engage these people. And they're under the supervision of the military, as well as other conventional security. So we are fully equipped. I can say that confidently.
All right, let's talk about the menace called Beletorji. The last time we had a conversation, you were very optimistic that he would be taken down like Halilu Sudubu. The military reportedly killed his son and a considerable number of his associates, with a promise to eliminate him and end his operations in the Northwest region. How worried are you that he's still out there?
Well, right now, the security forces are making significant progress. And like I always say, look, let's take this fight to the bandit, not just being reactive. So this time around, they are fully grounded, and there's a serious operation going on there, which led to the killing of Turji's son and his second in command, and many other terrorists around that area. So it's an ongoing process and is yielding positive results. And that is exactly what I was saying. And I said this over and over. Look, if we remain committed, it's a matter of time. Banditry will be history in northern Nigeria and Nigeria as a whole. And clearly we are seeing that progress right now. So my prayer is, let this be sustained. And right now there is a serious collaboration between the states and the armed forces. So this is great.
All right, talking about commitment, and this is beyond Zamfara State, many keep wondering about the extent of dedication and commitment put into defeating banditry and terrorism by the Northwest Governors Forum. The forum had met with representatives of the federal government at different times. The forum had met with UNDP and other international organizations. There have been several peace and security summits, but insecurity is still ravaging the Northwest, and this makes Nigerians question the level of honesty, political will and dedication, also commitment to defeating insecurity by Northwest governors.
The truth of the matter is we had serious engagement ranging from the international community, like you rightly pointed out, UNDP, UN organizations, and so on and so forth, just to get an insight on what would be the best way to fight this kind of menace. And not only that also, I mean, we're also collaborating with the security forces from within the country to look at the situation holistically and the best way to handle the situation. And honestly, like I said, now there's serious consideration, and we're happy with the way things are going. If you look at the rate of banditry and other crime in Zamfara State, it has gone down significantly. Part of the reason why we're concentrating around Shinkafi, Zurmi, is because that is where those criminals are hibernating right now. We're able to take care of certain places like Safi, and Safi is very, very peaceful right now. And where we're having trouble is around the area of Zurmi, Shinkafi, and Savon, and some of those areas around Maradi. And honestly, with the kind of operation that is ongoing now, I think there will be light at the end of the tunnel.